Yeah. This comes from Mike Facemeyer. How do you balance your schedule and time between Count Kustoms and your music career? Mike, great question. A lot of people don't even know that I do music. And interestingly enough, growing up, there were three things that were really crucial in my life, and that was music, motorcycles, and cars. And in my life now, I find myself fortunate enough to be able to do music, motorcycles, and cars. And ironically enough, the first thing in my life was music. My father, being a musician, brought me up in music, and I'd been doing it all my life, and I'd stepped away from it for quite some time and really buried myself in the cars and in the motorcycles. And here in about the past 10 years or so in my life, I've gotten involved strongly in music again. The balance between Count Kustoms and the music, it's a challenge, but it's worthwhile because the music really feeds my soul. My band, Count 77, is an absolute wonderful group of guys. It's all the original guys from day one. The band is over 8 years old now. We've got 3 records out. Working right now, working on another record coming out, and I just make the time for it because I love it and because it's good for my soul. Every time I get the opportunity to do music, I feel a connection with my father, who is no longer with us, and that's really important to me. And so it's a challenge, man. We rehearse weekly. And we play as often as we can, and we travel a lot. So I'm here at the shop basically Monday through Friday, and then many times I get on a plane on Friday and we fly out somewhere, and we play Friday night, Saturday night, different places, and get back home, and I get back to work here at Count Kustoms. But it's a challenge, but it's really good for my soul. So I appreciate the question. Thank you very much. And for those of you out there, I encourage you to check out Count 77, man. You'll dig it. It's cool. This comes from Jennifer Tarbe. If you could pick one place in the world that has the best cars to restore, where would it be? Jennifer, right here in the great U.S. of A. I believe the greatest cars in the world are right here in the United States of America. I'm a big flag-waving, patriotic guy, so I love American iron. That's not to say that I don't love all kinds of cars from around the world. My collection is extremely diverse. I've got cars from everywhere, from all over the world, that I absolutely love. But American iron, I think, is a number one. This comes from Jennifer Cannon Ragsdale. Has there ever been a car that you just couldn't redo? Jennifer, that's hilarious, because just as I read it, a thought popped into my head, man. I lost my mind, Jennifer, a while back, and I was at an auction, and I bought I think it was a 60, oh my Lord, early to mid 60s, Jennifer, I can't remember. But it was a Ford Ranchero. And I thought for sure this thing would just be a blast to restore, and it was reasonably cheap. And you know, the auction, man, you get fired up. So I bought it and got it back here, and what a bag of garbage that Ranchero was. It was so rusty. There was nothing but rust. Could we have restored it? Absolutely, we could have restored it. You can restore anything. Would I have had $1 gazillion in an old Ford Falcon Ranchero? Yeah, I would have had $1 gazillion in it. Would it have been worth anything? No, not necessarily. So we decided to cut it up instead and turned it into a Ford Falcon Ranchero pool table, because that was about all that was left that was good on the car. Was a little bit of the front, a little bit of the back, and a little bit of the side. So we cut it up and made it into one of the coolest pool tables that lives in one of the hotels here in Las Vegas now. So yeah, that was one right there that we just couldn't restore. Not that we couldn't do it, but just it would have made no sense financially. Good question. Okay, this comes from Michael Chalmers. Hey, Danny, will Count Cool Rider ever rise again in Las Vegas? I love it, Michael. You never know. the huge horror fan that I am, I love horror movies, and the vampire that I will always be. You never know, man. That's a great question. Thanks for remembering Count Cool Rider. He just might come back again. I don't know. I get that from a lot of people. They want to know. We'll see. We'll see. This comes from Kimberly Masters. What does Danny like to do on his time off? Sleep. I don't have much time off, Kimberly, so when I do get some time off, I love to sleep. Let's see, this comes from Daniel Knight. Danny, out of all the people you have met, who has left you starstruck the most? I don't get starstruck very well, Daniel. That's a really good question. I got a couple people that stand out in my mind off the top of my head. I've met a lot of people, so if I forget somebody, I apologize because it's got a bad memory. But I was on Late Night with David Letterman before David Letterman retired, and meeting Dave was unbelievably cool, and being able to be on his show was unbelievably cool. So David Letterman is definitely up there. Michael Madsen as an actor, I love Michael Madsen. As an actor, he's unbelievably cool. As a person, he's just way cool cat. That was a really big deal for me. And although this is not a celebrity, I had the same vibe of getting starstruck, of meeting and then working with a four-star general and Joint Chief of Staff, General Peter Pace. Absolutely amazing, man. What a cool cat. Great question. Thank you for that. This comes from Heath Abshire. If you had to choose one modern muscle car to customize, and out of the Count Kustoms twist on it. Oh, to customize another Count Kustoms twist on it. What would it be? A modern muscle car that I'd like to customize? What would it be? It would be between two. It would be between either a new Challenger, because I really think that Dodge did a great job on building that car and capturing the old school muscle car vibe in the Challenger. I think they really caught that well. That would be one that I really enjoy, and I like the new generation Mustangs are great, and they're really good cars. So either one of those two, I think, really sticks out in my head as a modern muscle car that I would dig working on. This comes from Jamie Clothier. Jamie Clothier. Jamie, I apologize for butchering your name. But anyways, here we go. Being as caring and compassionate as you are, Count. Thank you, Jamie. Who was the figure that shaped your soul? I really appreciate that question. I'm grateful to my parents for the time that they have spent in my upbringing. My father was extremely instrumental in my life. He really instilled a lot in me. That's a really great question, Jamie, and it gets to me. So thank you for noticing, number one, and number two, thanks for the question. I appreciate it. Kevin Walker. This comes from Kevin Walker. Hey, Mr. Dan. Would you rather build vehicles or play music? You seem to have a love of both. I know vehicles pay the bills, but is that where your true passion is, or music? Kevin, that is one of the toughest questions I've been asked. I am passionate about all of it. The motorcycles, the cars, and the music. To have to choose is really tough. I don't know that I could choose. all I can say is I think I'm the most blessed person in the world to be able to do all three. I started off my life doing all three. I started off, the first thing in my life was music, then came motorcycles, then came cars. And I find myself in my life doing music, motorcycles, and cars. So I'm thankful I don't have to choose. I'm blessed.